You guys have had some success with run blitzes, using your secondary and your blitz packages. I'm curious to know what you think the responsibility is of scheming pressure versus just guys winning one-on-one up front. How do you balance those?
It's all in the same to me. Every defense that we have, there's an opportunity to win a one-on-one. Whether we're blitzing, whether we're playing, our standard, 4-3 or 3-4, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, that's what the game of football is. It's about winning one-on-one. So I think the balance it is what it is. We're trying to win a one-on-one, whether we're blitzing or whether we're in our base concepts.
Jimmy?
Coach, if you take out the Florida game, which had a really good running quarterback, in your other 4 games, you're giving up less than 60 yards a game rushing. You're giving up 1.88 yards per carry. Why do you think you've been so effective against the run?
I don't know. I didn't even know the statistics, to be honest with you. We try to live game by game, quarter by quarter. At the end of the day, we feel like we're trying to play to our players' strength, whatever it is, and obviously as we identify, the strengths and weaknesses of each opponent, we try to put a defense or a plan together that gives us an advantage, So obviously in this day and age, you still got to be able to stop the run. But at the end of the day, to me, it's just based on their personnel and how we utilize them and, giving them the best chance to be successful.
Patrick?
Coach, Danico Slaughter and Tamari McDonald got quite a bit of playing time the other day. How did you assess how they played, and what does that do for their earning your trust to know you can throw them in there and they can get the job done?
Yeah, I thought they played extremely hard. They understand what the standard is. So they got their opportunity, and I thought for the most part, those guys answered the bell. So, we'll continue to evaluate every week, and as I've said, many, many times, you get what you earn. Those guys earned some opportunities, and, when they got them, I thought they did a really good job of taking advantage of it.
Rob?
Coach, Byron Young obviously not played a lot. He's just kind of getting his feet wet. But what have you seen from him, I guess, in the 3 games that he's been out there?
Yeah, we're excited about BY. He's a tremendous kid. He works extremely hard. Obviously, missing the first couple games, set his development back. But we're pleased with the direction he's headed. I think he'll be the first one to tell you he's still some plays that, he would love to have back that he think he could execute better on. But we think the sky's the limit, as he continues to get more reps. I think he'll continue to grow. And, and obviously as he grows, I think the better we'll be.
Vince?
What kind of growth and development have you seen in Omari Thomas?
Yeah, Big O has been battling. He really is. He's he's a pleasant kid to be around. It's extremely important to him, and to see him start to have some success is gratifying. Just because we know how hard he works. So, again, he knows there's some things he wants to get better at, but he's working at it. And to me, that's all we can ask as a coach. It's our job to make sure these kids all reach their full potential, whatever that is. We still feel like Big O has more potential in him. We're working extremely hard to get it out of him.
Your offense obviously is aggressive, and it seems like you're coaching defense in that way too. Were there any conversations about the defensive approach in terms of aggression matching what you do on offense?
No, I think at the end of the day, again, that the style of play in which we want to play on offense, defense, and special teams is just universal. We want to be aggressive in everything we do. And again, aggressive doesn't necessarily mean you're blitzing every snap. It's just, how you go about your business. Again, whether it's our front 4, whether we're in man coverage, whether we're in cover 2, we want to be the aggressor. That's just what it is. So I think you can see that obviously on offense, defense, and our special teams.
Brandon West.
Yeah, Coach, 5 games in, how would you describe the personality of this defense?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think we're a tough defense. I think we're a defense that plays hard. I think we're a defense that shows a lot of pride. We love our kids. We're excited about them. We call them the few, the proud. But I think when you look at us, I think what we do, we play extremely hard, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, and as coaches, we'll do the best that we can to put them in the best positions to be successful as long as they're working their tails off, and those guys are really working hard.
Are you further along than you thought you would be, about where you thought you would be with this defense when you talk about this group in the preseason?
I know you're going to get mad, but I'm going to be honest. I try not to even think that way. We try to live day by day. I wasn't sure, hadn't coached those guys in the game. So, we based on everything that we saw in the spring, everything we saw in the summer. We tried to learn from it as a coach day to day, and then put those guys out on the field to get them the best opportunity to be successful. So the expectation is, again, that we play hard, that we play physical. The execution point, obviously that's on us to make sure we're putting them in the best positions. It's obviously on those kids to actually digest what we're giving them. But those are unknowns. You don't know that. All we can do is, adhere to our process, working our tails off, and then obviously the outcome and the product, will speak for itself.
Tim, obviously, being the defensive coordinator at a place like Tennessee is a job that would get a lot of people's attention, but when you looked at some of the numbers from Josh Heupel's offense and the time of possession, what his teams usually have, did that give you some pause in terms of, I don't want to have a defense on the field for 38 minutes a game or whatever?
No, I don't. I honestly, I don't worry about things that I can't control. We worry about what we can control. And if we get an opportunity to go play defense, we love that. So every chance we're out there, we live for the first down, second down, third down, fourth down, and then we're off the field. And if we're back on, right away, or we're on the field, 10 plays later, it does not matter to us. We just want to have an opportunity to play football, and that's the mentality we have as a staff, and that's the mentality that our players have.
Ben and Jimmy.
Tim, just what are Aaron Beasley and Jeremy Banks doing so well? It seems like they're really getting better week to week.
Yeah, they're working hard. They really are. I think, Coach BJ has done a great job of continuing to develop those guys. Banks always plays hard. He has tremendous energy, tremendous passion for the game. It's obviously some things that, we're still working through to make him the best version of himself that he can be. But I think at the end of the day, if you have that want to, we're willing as coaches, and he has the want to, so he's getting better that way. And I'll say the same thing for Beasley. I think Beasley's always had pretty good instincts, I think, based on a little bit I saw of him in the spring. So I think as he's starting to get, more comfortable in what we're doing, I think you're starting to see him play better.
And Matthew Butler's playing a ton of snaps right now. What allows him to do so, even as a big guy?
He's just a warrior. The way he practices, every single rep, really embodies what we talk about. You live and die with, a one-rep mentality. So his one rep in practice looks exactly like his one rep on Saturday. So I think he's just trained his body, he's conditioned his mind to be able to go as hard as he can possibly go for as long as he can possibly go. And I know that may sound like, some coach speak, but that's really truly how he practices. We don't have very many guys who practice as hard as he practices.
In regard to when you look at a stat sheet after the game, how important is tackles for loss?
I think it always plays a factor, in terms of, how you want to play. Because obviously if you can, put them in a lot of long situations, you like to think it plays in our hands. So, again, man, I feel crazy saying it, but I don't really look at it as much. We truly look at, our tackle efficiency is important. How well did we tackle? Obviously if we're playing aggressive and playing with the mindset that we want to play with, I think the TFLs will take care of itself. And, obviously if we're playing behind the line of scrimmage, it obviously does speak volumes for putting us in a situation to be successful on, latter downs.
And what are your thoughts on South Carolina's offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a really good job. They got, multiple backs that do a really good job, within their scheme. I think, obviously getting their quarterback back, is kind of solidified, what they want to do in terms of their passing game. And, they have some wide outs, they can really tear the top off the coverage, and, it's made really, big plays against everyone they've played, down the field. So they have some threats, and they got two really good tight ends that are, pretty physical guys, and, are also very adequate in the passing game. So, it's going to take a collective 11, to be able to, get after these guys and play hard against them.
Last question, Brent.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned you want to be in those third and long situations. I think Missouri got hit 4 of them for you on the first half. What's the key to being as efficient as you want to be when you have a team in 3rd and 8? What's key for the team?
I think, just understanding exactly what the situation is and understand very clearly, how many yards they need to be able to, complete a first down. And We're always going to try to mix it up, in terms of what we're doing, but ultimately, every single person on that defense, every single person that's on the field needs to know what the situation is. Is it 3rd and 5? Is it 3rd and 8? Is it 3rd and 1? And then obviously within the framework of our defense being able to execute. So I think to answer your question, we just got to be very clear and very direct in terms of what is the situation and then execute accordingly.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.